Well, do you want to start it off then? Do you want
to? Don't know how.
You don't know how? See, that's the fucking problem. I never know how to. You just said that you listened to all of the podcasts. How many of them do I start off with me going, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing?
Literally every single one of them.
I think the last two that I did with Film Rail and Crash Test Genius, they both did a nice little intro for me, which kind of fixed that up. But I have no fucking idea what I'm doing. But
I guess really you're just gonna be like, hey, I'm not Greg, and this is not Greg's Don't Make Me Greg podcast.
That's so fucking cheesy. Welcome to the Don't Make Me Greg podcast, featuring your host, not Greg. And are you fucking choking to death while I'm introducing you?
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
Stop dying, dude.
I'm trying not to. I was thinking about COVID and then I just started coughing.
just thinking about COVID just gives you COVID. They're saying it's getting more contagious now.
That is the UK
just the
strain.
Thought of it. It's just
the UK strain. You think of it and you've got it.
Man, I gotta say, well, for starters, everyone, this is Mads. This is my good friend Mads. So we're just having a little chat and such. We both live in the same city. We just had we're halfway through a 3-day lockdown now because of the new super contagious UK COVID, whatever the fuck they're calling it, shit. Just locked everything down for 3 days, and we were just having a really cool chat about like spending time with yourself, discovering yourself. Was it like downtime and stuff?
Yeah, just like learning to care about yourself more, I guess.
Yeah, it's such an important thing to have that kind of downtime where you just, I'm just chilling out, I'm just doing my thing. Yeah, I could be productive doing things, but it's good to just take that time and be with yourself, enjoy some time off every once in a while.
Because if you don't do that, then you're never going to be productive.
Absolutely.
And that's how I look at it, because if you feel crappy, all you're going to do is sleep and eat and feel crappy about yourself even more about not doing it. So don't put yourself down for that. Take that time for yourself and then do it, then get into it.
Exactly. It's such an important part of mental health. You can't just work all the fucking time. It don't work. It don't.
It doesn't.
It don't work. It don't work.
Either play hard.
Play hard
and play hard.
Work hard, play. Yeah, well, I mean, that's exactly it. Work hard, play hard. I gotta say, this is really cool. Like, you're the first person I've had on here that's not like a content creator or like an actor or an artist or something in some way.
Do you know what's really funny?
What?
I always wanted to start my own podcast, but I never had them.
Really?
Yeah, just never.
What was like the podcast going to be on? Did you have like a topic or?
Not really. I was just going to do whatever, I guess, just like literally what you're doing
Pretty
now.
much
is
what
just
I do.
Yeah.
But
like have certain topics. I guess I could create certain topics and then like just have like one base topic and then talk about whatever about that topic. But I don't know.
It's podcasts are a fucking difficult thing to do, and I think having that direction would make it so much easier, because this is fucking hard to do. Don't make me Greg, because I always go in, and I said that before, I go in, we have no idea what the fuck we're going to talk about. It's just, we're just going to sit down for an hour, shoot the shit. Have you watched Auntie Donna's on Netflix?
Yes, I love them so much. Do you know what? I watch their YouTube videos all the time, and when you sent me that one the other day, I was like, oh, what you did? I was like, oh my god.
You just used my name.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Oh,
damn it.
This was something that I was worried about coming into this, because you don't really know me as not Greg.
And I only know you as your name.
Yeah.
That's how I met you.
And I was like, don't use
and we
my
had
real
this
name.
conversation. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I was gonna make a note of any time you use my real name, but I should have a notepad open. Why are you doing this to me, Maddie? You're just causing me stress.
Okay, it was around 19:35.
It was around 8 minutes. Yeah, I got it. I'll figure it out. But yeah, you
eventually.
Sorry. Yeah, you don't know me as not Greg. You know me my real name. Which you use.
Which we can't mention.
Quite a lot, I will say.
Already?
No. Just like in general life.
Yeah.
I call you. You call me by my full name, which a lot of people don't.
But then sometimes I call you by just your shortened version of it, which is like a lot as well. Because I just don't know you as not Greg. Like I've never, because I didn't know you did YouTube or anything like that when I first met you.
I didn't do YouTube.
That's actually, but the thing is though, I didn't know you as not Greg at any point. Like I didn't know you had any other name apart from your name. So that's the funny, because I didn't meet you like all your other friends have. Like we didn't meet in high school or anything like that. We met on fucking Tinder.
Met on fucking Tinder.
That's the funniest thing about. Actually, we've almost known each other about 2 years now.
It's got to be close to that.
Actually, I don't have the app on my phone, but it's fine.
I got banned from Tinder, so I can't.
Did you? What did you do to get banned?
Honestly have no fucking idea. Like I just looked into Tinder one day and it was like, hey, you're banned permanently. And I was like, okay, why? Like you know me, I'm a pretty chill dude. I'm not
you
like,
would never do anything that would get you banned.
I'm not like sexually aggressive on Tinder or anything. I don't send unwarranted dick pics or anything. I don't know. That's not me. The only time I'll like talk to someone like that, which I think you and I did talk like that on Tinder, but
do you know what? I'm about to go into it. I'm about to go into it.
Read off some of the gems. But yeah, I logged in and it just said I was banned. So I like sent them a message. I'm like, oh hey, can you tell me what I did wrong? Why did I get banned? And they just responded with, too bad you're banned. I'm like, okay, but I want to know why. And they're like, hey, we don't have an appeal process. I'm like, I don't want to appeal this. I just want to know what I did wrong so I can not do it again. Just nothing from Tinder. They were just like, nah, too bad you're banned. I was like, what the fuck?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's so ridiculous. Do you know what's really sad? I'm just on Tinder now to see if I can find you. And because you've been banned permanently, all of our messages are gone.
No.
Which is sad, because do you know what's really funny? The only reason I would re-download Tinder is to like look at all my old messages from people I've met. And it's because I don't use it. I don't have interest in it anymore. I used to be super on it.
It's so boring.
Yeah, I used to be super on it when I was like 19, 20, like turning 20. But now, like I only use it to go back, and because I've met most of my boyfriends and stuff on Tinder, I go back and I look at our messages and I'm just like, oh my God, what was wrong with me? But no, but our messages were like the most special thing to me. I loved it so much.
Fucking cool. I remember
ours were the best.
We were talking on the phone. Probably it was like a month ago now, I think, and you were just scrolling through reading it to me.
Yeah.
Maybe it was more than a month ago because I wasn't banned at that point. Yeah.
It was because it was before I went drinking with you and your friends that night. It was way before that.
I think I remember at one point I said I was gonna jizz on your back and then attach a sheet to it. Like you. That is the funniest thing.
Literally, we were just such dickheads. And you were still in an open relationship at that point, and I was so confused by that, because I wasn't actually going to like you, because I was like, I don't know what that even means. I was so, because I'm such a monogamous person. It's ridiculous, because I love people who are not. I have a coworker who's in an open relationship and I love him. He is the funniest person. And I find the people in open relationships are in the funniest, like they're some of the funniest people I've ever met. But the thing is though, I was so confused by it until you explained it all to me. And like, I can't do it personally. I'm a jealous bitch. I'm the most jealous person. But hats off to the people who can, because that makes me so happy. I love it. I froth over it. I'm like, I wish I had that, but I can't. Like, I've tried so hard. I do.
This has always been like one of the most like interesting kind of things that you and I talk about, because as one of my friends, you're probably the most open about like your sexuality and your sex life and stuff. You're very open, very confident about it, and I really respect that about you. That you own that about yourself, because a lot of people are like, oh no, I don't want to talk about my sex life, and I want to do this.
Because if I don't, who will? Yeah. Like if like the people.
If I don't talk about who I fuck, who will?
Exactly. You're gonna be proud of that crap. Because if you're not like out there explaining that it's not a bad thing to be like sexual person or something, then like you don't get respect. Like people that will never have respect. And if you're not talking about it as an open thing, it's always going to be one of those closed off things that people are ashamed of. And I don't think you should be ashamed of it.
Absolutely not.
I mean, there's some parts of me that I don't talk about, like hypersexuality is a thing. It's because of trauma. Like there was a lot of trauma in my teenage years that I don't talk about, obviously for obvious reasons. But that was when I was with my first boyfriend, and that's what caused me to be hypersexual. I just thought that was a thing for ages. I just thought it was normal, but it wasn't. And then when I took control of that and then used it in my power, that's what made me so confident about myself, and that I have, like, I own it now. I'm like, okay, cool. I know why I'm doing this, but I can control who I do it with.
100%. You know? That's one of the really cool things about you is how much you own that part of yourself, and it does give you a lot of confidence. That you're an extremely confident person.
See, I don't think I am.
But a lot of that, it really depends on your situation, I think. I think you talking about your sex life in a way is like Popeye eating spinach. It kind of just gives you a bit of a fucking power up and gives you confidence. And that's like, really
I'm that
cool.
bitch.
You're 100% that bitch. But it's really fucking cool. But at the same time, it's interesting because you're very much a monogamous person, like you said. You're kind of against the whole like polyamory, open relationship kind of thing.
I'm not against it. That's the thing.
Yourself,
People get that confused. No. But I'm not even against it for myself because I've tried it. I've tried it and I've done it. It's definitely not my thing. I'm not against it happening one day. I just never completely understood it. But at the moment, for now, I'm monogamous and I cannot do it. And I've tried to do it, but at this point in my life, not a thing for me.
Yeah.
Because again, I get too jealous. I'm like, I want this person to be mine. Like,
very
you're mine.
Possessive.
No, not necessarily.
No, I get it.
Possessive means I'll defend things for it. Like, I'll defend it, but I don't do that. Like, you're your own person. I'm not going to take over you.
Yeah. This is interesting because I don't think I've actually ever talked about that, about myself in that light, about polyamory or open relationships. I don't think I have on any of the podcasts.
I don't think you have either. I know you've talked about your ex, but that was it. Like, you never explained what the situation was.
Yeah, so I'll do a quick little recap. Can we have some like Sports Center? No, okay. For the longest time, I was shit in relationships. I should say am shit in relationships. Or was, I don't know. But I was always unfaithful in relationships. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah, pretty much every single relationship I've been in I've at one point been unfaithful. And I really despised that about myself for a long time because it's such a difficult thing to explain being unfaithful while loving someone. If that makes sense. It's like,
I actually makes sense. Do you know what that is? I think it's an anxiety thing in a relationship, and a lot of people self-doubt like that it might not be that, but I know a lot of people have like relationship anxiety. I for one have it, and it's like you love this person, but you can not, sometimes you doubt that you can stay with them, like, and just them.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're like, oh, do I really love them that much? Like, if I have these feelings about someone else, I think that person's attractive. Do I still care about the person I'm with? Like, that is why a lot of cheating happens.
I think that is the case for like a few of the times, but for most of the times for myself, it wasn't that. And it took a lot of time. Like, I did a lot of research. I did a lot of study into it because I was like, this is a part of myself that I don't like. I don't like this about myself because I know being unfaithful hurts people, and I don't want to hurt people. I'm not a malicious dude. I don't want to cause pain or anything to anyone. So I was like, I'm going to do some research, did a lot of research into it. And that's when I kind of stumbled upon polyamory and open relationships, and kind of reading into this and about like sexuality in humans as like an evolutionary trait coming from like bonobo chimpanzees and such. There's a lot of shit that I'm not going to get into because it's going to take up all their fucking time. But eventually I got to that point and I started to come to the realization, just because I love someone doesn't mean I don't find other people attractive.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And then to understand from other people as well, just because someone loves me doesn't mean they don't find other people attractive. And that kind of built from there to go, you know what, I am my own person, and what's important to me in a relationship is a partnership, you know, building things together. It's not purely about sex, you know. That's the last thing on my mind when I'm in a committed relationship is sex, which is uncommon for a dude, I think. But so I kind of rolled around with that for a while, and that's when I met my ex, and I kind of told her that like straight out the gate before we started dating. I was like, you know, I've been doing this research, I've been thinking about this stuff, you know, I think this is something that suits me more, because it's not just about being able to sleep with other people, it's about being completely open and honest with who you are as a person. So I could turn to her and go, I find that person very attractive, I would like to stick my penis inside her. And she would go, okay, I understand that. You're a dude, she's a girl, they're both attractive. Yeah. So that's kind of where that whole thing started, and understanding from there that, you know, relationships are about more than just sex, and being free to explore yourself with other people. Particularly now, like in my late 20s, I'm still relatively healthy. I'm a pretty decent looking dude.
You are.
Why not?
I can confirm that.
Thank you. Why not have some fun and experience life before I get to like 50 and then I'm not having sex again, you know?
Yeah. See, I understand that completely. And it's just so funny to me because I can't do that. Like I can't, like if I'm at the moment, for me now, like I used to be really open and kind of like, oh, threesomes, oh yeah, let's do this, woohoo. But now I'm like, okay, if I like someone, like I still find other people attractive, yes, but that doesn't mean I have the urge to go and sleep with them. Whereas like, but if they say something about it, or like say, you know, my ex actually did this. We were walking through like a shopping center, and this is how I found out that I was completely monogamous and that I did not want him seeing other people as well, was that he literally commented on a girl's butt. And do you know when you, like I do it, I see a nice girl's butt or a nice guy's butt, I'm like, wait, damn. No. Like if I'm dating someone, I'm like, look at them, like, oh my God.
That's a nice pooper. I like it.
Yeah, or like some nice jugs, like I love it. But he did this one time, I was like literally like just 18. And I was like so jealous. And his friend was like, oh my God, you've just pissed Maddie off so much. And he was like trying to tell Connor, like, you can't just say that without talking to her first. And I was so mad. Oh my God, I could have just killed him right then and there. Could have went into a shop and bought a knife. I literally was so mad. But
I think it's not something that's quite common among like teenagers and like early 20s, I think. Polyamory and this like open relationships. I don't think it's as common because I think when you're still going through that kind of early adolescence, like transitioning into adulthood, there's
like you just think about boyfriends.
Yeah,
like,
you're just like, I just want someone for me. You know, I'm leaving my parents. I'm coming out into this world. I'm an adult. I'm alone. Give me someone to love me that doesn't want anyone else. And that's what
happened. That is what happened. I moved in with this guy, but the thing is though, like, I don't know, like because when you're a teenager, you have this image in your head about what your life is going to be. You're going to get married and have kids, get a dog, and you're going to have true love for the rest of your life. That's not it. You have so many soulmates. That's actually something I was thinking about. Soulmates. Yeah. Soulmates. I have a coworker who's in an open relationship, like I said, and we have so much fun together. He's a great guy, wonderful person, but like I was talking about it, and like you just have so many soulmates. Like, you know, for instance, like all of my friends, I class them as soulmates because soulmates are someone who shapes you, you know, like that's so cool. But yeah, I don't know. It's just polyamory is so cool, but I can't.
I totally get that about like friends as like soulmates. Like I don't believe in like soulmates as like a romantic concept in the sense like there's like one person for everyone. I think that's bullshit. I think that's like fairy tale bullshit. But when it comes to like friends as soulmates, 100% agree with that. And like you've met two of what I would consider two of my soulmates in Joe and Jordan. For anyone out there who follows me on YouTube, that would be Jem. We call him Jem on the channel instead of Jordan. Because of reasons. I don't know. But those two dudes and my other mate Sean, I would like highly consider them as like my three soulmates, like three dudes that I've known for fucking years. Like I've known Jordan for nearly 10 years.
That's nuts.
Yeah, and just like completely shaped me, and people that I'm like, when I'm 40, I'm still gonna know this dude. Like, I'm still gonna hang out with Jordan. I'm still gonna hang out with Joe. I'm still gonna hang out with Sean when I'm 40, and I know that for a fact.
It's so really funny too.
Cool. And they are people that really shape me. Like I was having.
You were having a what?
I was having a rough time a few days ago, probably about 4 or 5 days ago, and I was just not in a good way. And I was just sitting at home like, what the fuck do I do? I'm having a bit of a meltdown. And I just called Joe. I just called him up. I'm like, dude, I'm not having a good time. And we just chatted on the phone for like 2 hours. And I just instantly felt better. It's just something just beautiful about his soul.
He is so sweet.
Beautiful. I love you, Joe.
I've met Joe once and I was completely and utterly smashed, right? Absolutely drunk. How I meet most people. I met you when I was drunk.
That's pretty much, we met, like Tinder aside, face to face we met and we were both absolutely hammered.
It was the funniest thing. And yeah, like he was just so nice. And I just kept looking at him and like, I can't pick one bad thing about him at all. Like, dude. I know I don't know him well, but I can just tell that he's one of those people that you can't say a bad word about. Like, I can't sit here and be like, I hate Joe, Joe sucks. Like, I can't do that. It hurts my soul to even think about it. I'm just gonna
clip that little bit there where you say that you hate Joe and Joe sucks and send it to him and be like, look what Maddie said on the podcast.
Do you know what? I am such a negative person sometimes. I'm a negative Nancy, and I'll admit it. Like, I try my best to be as positive as possible. Yeah. But I complain. All I do is complain.
Oh, dude, me too. I think that's why we get along. We're both like equally complainers. And we're like, and then, fucking bitch.
Yeah, but as soon as I complain, you're like, stop complaining.
Yeah.
And then you're like, and then as soon as you're done, I'm like, oh my God, shut up. Like, honestly. That's the beautiful thing about us. Like, we've done that since day dot.
Yeah.
But when I met, first time, because I had my tattoo done in the morning, and then I got home, and as soon as I got home, I had you messaging me, and then you calling me with, what do you call him again? Jem. And Jem.
You could call him Jordy.
Jordy. Okay, cool.
He's flexible with names. He doesn't really care.
Cool. Well, Jordy, I was on you called me like, come drink. And I was literally just getting home and my siblings were alone. Like, so I was like, oh my God, my stepdad's going to get home soon probably. And then I was like, you know what? Because I was out at Ipswich and I was like, I'm going to drive all the way to Brisbane. I'm broke, and I just spent like $300 on a fucking tattoo. Like, come on, guys. And you're like, no, come drink. Put alcohol here. And Jordy's like, why wouldn't you want to meet me? I'm the best. And you know what's the funniest thing? As soon as I met Jordy, he's the most beautiful person as well. Can't say a bad word about him either. Just so intelligent, smart, but also just such a beautiful soul. Same as everyone you know is just so nice, and I hate it so much because I'm one of those people because I complain, and I don't hear them complain often, and anytime I say anything negative, they're like, what about this? This is beautiful though. Woo. And I'm like, okay, cool. Thank you guys so much. It makes me feel so great.
I think a lot of that is because like a lot of the people that you're talking about, we've spent a lot of time together over the past like 5 to 10 years. And we've basically used all of our complaining to the point where we're all just sick of each other complaining now. So we just don't do it anymore. It's like, shut the fuck up, dude. I know, it's okay. Shut the fuck up. And let's just talk about stuff that makes us happy and let's have fun.
And that's the funniest thing. Anytime you guys invite me out to drink is straight after I've had my heart broken or something. And it's always a mess. I'm always like, oh man, for instance, I'm going to call him, clip his name out, but I'm going to call him Lego Man, right?
Lego Man. All right. Well,
that's his name.
I'll censor, hold on, 26 minutes. I'm going to keep track of these censors. I knew that was going to be the case with you.
Okay, so Lego Man. Me and Lego Man, we started talking on Tinder, and then I was actually talking to someone else who I was really interested in, and then I didn't, and Lego Man was like, let's go on a date, and I was like, on radio, and then an hour before the date, I was on the phone with my best friends, I was ready, and I was just like, I don't want to go on this date, I should cancel. I was like, I really don't feel like it. And then I went on the date because my best friends were like, it's so rude if you cancel an hour before, don't do that. Went on a date and we had dinner, and it was really nice because we bonded over a lot of stuff, and then we got drunk together.
Yeah. Which is always a recipe for greatness. Right?
But like, it was great, and we got along really well, and we hung out heaps, and then a situation happened with him that I'm not going to go into, but it just basically was like, I felt really betrayed because I'm honest with people, and you of all people know that I'm the most honest person ever. Like, I can't tell a lie.
You've got like diarrhea of the mouth when it comes to honesty. You just spew it everywhere. And you're like, okay, oh geez, all right, there's a lot to unpack. Sometimes it's bad, sometimes it's good. It's always good. It's always good to be honest.
Exactly, but sometimes you're too honest and it hurts people. But in this situation, I was just like, I'm really sad. And it was like, just after that I'd come out drinking with you guys, and I remember complaining, and like everyone, like Geordie was there. It wasn't when Joe was there or anything. That was a different time, but everyone was just so sweet, and I was like crying. Oh, it was actually Lego Man was there with us. I remember because it was the night. He literally told me on the night that we went out drinking, and he met all of you guys, and you guys are special to me. Like, I don't like introduce anyone to my friends or family unless I know that they're going to be in my life for a while. So for me to introduce him to even just you guys was really, really saddening, and I felt really betrayed, but I was crying and you guys just gave me all this insightful knowledge about it. I was like, oh my God. And then like the next day he met my parents and then I got my heart broken again. So
dude, it happens. I mean,
it does.
The amount of times like this, like the group of friends that you're talking about and stuff is actually quite a lot bigger than what you've met. It does span over 10 years and just a whole bunch of people. And during that time, man, every single one of us has had like that. We've had our own Lego man, you know, bring that person in. Yeah. Very nervous, introduce him to our friends, be like, oh, these are the people that are most special to me and I want you to get to know them and meet them. And they'll stay for a little bit and they'll leave. And every single one of us has at least one of those people, at most 5 of them.
I don't like having those people though, because I'm such a jealous person. I get jealous when they take my friends as well. So, but you know what? I'm still friends with Lego Man. We went out for dinner the other night. Yeah, it was actually quite nice.
Well, it can be, it can be a really good thing sometimes. Like to put that in perspective, some of the people that have been brought in as relationships have like stayed permanently. I'm going to censor their names, so I'm going to make a note of it here. For example, both came in as partners of friends of the already established group and have stayed ever since then.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so it's not a bad thing to like introduce. I really love introducing my friends to each other. As you've known, you know.
First me.
Yeah, we'll put like you, Joe, and Geordie. 3 friends that I've had from like 3 completely separate situations, and I was just like, all 3 of you come together and be friends. And then just seeing you 3 talking, I was sitting there like, my friends are being friends with each other. I love this. And I love introducing my friends. It's such a cool thing.
After that first weekend that you guys invited me out, it was so funny because like Geordie was like, I'll call you again next weekend or something. And I remember like on that weekend, like as soon as it was like Friday, 12 o'clock, he rang me. It's like, are you coming out? And I'm like, oh, what? And it's like every weekend without fail, he'll be like, hey, do you want to come drinking? Like, I have voicemails where he'll be like, hi, call me, you know. And I'm like, yeah, right.
That's our Geordie. I'm so excited to get him on the podcast as well, because he's featured on the channel. We've done a few videos together on the channel. Yeah. And he's gotten a lot of love from people, so I really want to get Geordie on the channel because he's cute. Just talking to him, like with the videos, it's very difficult to kind of show him for who he is as a person. Yeah. Because he's quite witty, he's quite funny in the videos, but he's not. He doesn't really dive into the more methodical, logical side of himself, which he is a very thoughtful dude. He is very philosophical. Like you can go down rabbit holes with that fucking dude. So I can't wait to get him on here and actually like show everyone like how brilliant of a mind this dude has. I'm just overselling him like shit.
No, that's the thing. That is literally. I hope he does go on. I'll listen to that podcast. Dude, do you know what? I always just say cockcast, and I don't know why.
Cockcast. Don't make me Greg cockcast. See, this is what I was talking about with your hypersexuality. You've always got cock on the brain. You're always thinking about dicks. Fucking we were talking about Lucille Bogan before as well.
Oh no.
I don't know if any of you have ever heard of Lucille Bogan. I'm gonna read some of her lyrics. This is pure art.
I love it.
You ready? You can fuck my cock, suck my cock, or leave my cock alone. Oh baby, honey, I piss all night long. You can fuck my cock, or suck my cock, baby, until the cows come home. Pure, unadulterated fucking art.
Oh, that's so funny.
And the best part of that is that song was recorded in 1934. 1934.
That's the best thing about.
Like a flushing toilet was banned in movies. You couldn't show a toilet being flushed. You couldn't show
a man sing about fucking cocks.
You couldn't show a man and a woman sleeping in the same bed together. But you have Lucille Bogan bringing this shit. It was fucking beautiful to find that.
I feel like I could have. Oh man, I wish I was born in the 1930s. I would have been the worst person alive.
I think that's an interesting thing.
I'd have been out there dancing to that.
I don't know if you would be the same person, because I think a lot of who we are is really defined by the time we're in. I think the modern time that we're in, 2021, it's very okay to be open about your sexuality and sexual experiences and stuff. And I think that's really shaped a lot of who we are. But in the 30s, that was really not a thing. Like, I don't know how the fuck Lucille Bogan got away with it, but she fucking did.
With a name like Bogan. Like, come on, like Lucille Bogan.
I don't think it would have meant Bogan at that point.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, that's what makes it even more beautiful, is it didn't even mean that back then. But now, like, listening to it, it's like absolute gold.
I wanna, for those who don't know, bogan is an Australian slang term, which definition of it is an uncouth or unsophisticated person regarded as being of low social status. It's the
For
definition
example,
of bogan.
Myself.
It apparently didn't come into prominence until the 70s or 80s as a slang term.
That's so interesting. Yeah, so that's makes it even funnier then, because Lucille Bogan is quite literally a bogan.
She wasn't a bogan.
She was singing about fucking cocks.
Yeah. There was a lyric in that song, I'm completely paraphrasing now, where I think she said her pubes were so long that she could mop the floor with them. And this was done in the 1930s. This is fucking gold. I don't know how she is not more well known in the world.
I love the fact that she says I piss all night long, because that is quite literally me. I'm up every 2 hours pissing.
Oh, dude, it's so bad. I'm the same too, because anyone that knows me knows I fucking love water. I drink
me too.
So much water, but it's so bad because I wake up every single night to just fucking piss, and it sucks because once I'm awake, I'm fucking awake, and it's just so bad. But hydration's good. It's the trade-off. You want to be hydrated, or you want to have a good night's sleep.
Me and my mum, we've had this like tradition for years. I think a lot of parents and mothers and daughters do it, but me and my mum, we have a cup of tea every night before we go to bed together. And when I lived alone, do you know how much I missed it? I used to cry when I drink tea at night because I missed my mum. We do that now, but it is so bad for me because I just pee so much.
That's really
so
cute.
Do you know? Yeah, it is. It's like a little thing. Even my nana and I used to do it when I was like at my nan's house, like when I was younger and everything. It's just a little thing that my family has.
Yeah.
But just quickly, I have to go back to, you know how we're talking about Tinder and like being so like aggressive on like messages.
Yeah.
I've just had someone message me, and it's not on Tinder, it's on Instagram. Now I think this guy. I don't know who he is. He's basically a friend of someone that I met on Tinder. And this person that I met on Tinder, there was 2 of them, and they had one profile, and they were both blokes, and they were like, oh yeah, this could be you. And they scribbled out the girl's face that was standing in the middle, and it was the funniest thing ever. So I matched with them. We used to be really good friends.
Yeah.
Now, one of their friends followed me on Instagram, and he replied to my story on the 22nd of December at 9:56 p.m. saying, let me smash. So I liked it. Didn't say anything back, right? And just now at 12:10 p.m, he goes, how do I know you? And I said, no idea. And he goes, I'd quite like to get you naked.
Dude, come on.
Now, and just putting it out there for men, like sometimes being forward is great, but not like this.
No, that's...
If you know someone, like if you like me and yourself, for instance, like we can be like, oh, let's get naked.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You and I can say that to each other, but we've been friends nearly 2 yees. And there's an established like comedy between our banter that we can say that to each other. But to a complete stranger, like what the balls on some dudes to say this shit, man. Like,
I get that so much though. I have so many of those.
Dude, that's such a strange thing. Like, I'm gonna censor another name out here. God, I'm keeping so much notes during this. This is the notiest podcast I've done so far. You've met her before. We once talking about like dick pics and stuff, because I'm like, is it really that much of a thing? I'm not too sure. I'm a dude.
It is so
I don't
bad.
know. And she was like, it's ridiculous. That fucking bad. And I will show you. She opens up her phone, opens up Snapchat, and like faces it outwards, so it's facing the entire group. Just scrolls through. It's just, she's got like 100 fucking messages. I'm like, who are they? Yeah. She's like, I don't know who they are. And she just goes through without even looking, opening up these, every single one of them is a fucking dick pic. And I'm like, what the fuck, dudes? Like, what are you doing? You don't just send a dick pic to a random fucking person. Like, what do you think the best outcome of that is? She's going to look at it and be like, whoa, I got to fuck that dick. I'm going to do it.
Do you know what I despise more than the dick pic,
The
is when they have the... No.
You don't despise the bum
I love
hole
it.
pic?
No, I love it. Send them to me. I love it. No, I'm joking. Please don't.
I'm going to include in the description Mads' phone number and her Snapchat. Could you please send her all the photos of your bum holes, please? Only men. Only men bum holes, please. Thank you.
Oh, we don't discriminate here, Mitch.
Okay.
No, but I despise this more than dick pics themselves. Is when they send one and you ignore them and then they go, show me your tits.
Oh, really?
Or, send me pics. Yeah, they do that. They'll, you'll ignore them, blatantly won't even reply to the dick pic, and then they'll go, oh, you should send one back.
Dudes, no. Please stop this shit. Don't send unwarranted dick pics. You're making it harder for the rest of us. And that's not a dick pun, by the way. Just stop it, please.
Do you know what,
Stop fucking people's phones without their permission. That's not okay.
I love doing this to them. And for any girl that just wants a man to leave them alone, screenshot it and then start sending them back to him constantly. Don't stop to send it back to him 100 times. Send it back.
Dude.
Just spam them with their own dick and they will leave you alone. I promise it works every single time.
That friend that I told you about that opened up all the Snapchats and the dick pics, what she used to do was screenshot them and then draw over the top of them. So she'd like turn them into like Gumby or a fucking banana peel or something. And that was like her way of like dealing with them. She had like a whole folder on her phone of just like
hilarious.
dick pics that she's like graffitied all over.
Oh my God, I love that so much.
I don't understand it. Like as a dude, as a straight man, I don't understand like unwarranted dick pics. And I will admit, I've done it before. I have. When I was much younger. I'm talking about like 10, 12,
like out
13,
of random?
13
Wait,
years
was
ago.
it out of random? You just sent it to someone? No messages beforehand?
No, there was messages beforehand. So there was like flirting and stuff, and I was like, okay, I'm kind of feeling it. I'm gonna do something special. I'm gonna do something romantic. I'm gonna show her my penis. And it didn't work. It completely backfired. And I was like, okay, I'm not doing that again. So I've never since done that. And I fucking come to realize, I'm like, that's fucked up. Why did I do that? Just completely misread the situation. But anytime I hear of dudes sending unwarranted dick pics, I sincerely hope that none of them are my friends, because I would beat the fuck out. I can't beat the fuck out of anyone, let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I would for you.
I will glass you.
You will ring me.
Yo, Mads, George just sent an unwarranted dick pic. Let's go bash. No, don't throw George under the bus like that.
And I will turn up looking all tough and shit.
No, please don't send unwarranted dick pics.
It's horrible.
There's no excuse
really
for it, dude.
It's just gross. Unless they ask. If they ask,
well, that's not unwarranted.
Don't do it anyway. Just don't do it anyway, because they look ugly in photos.
Dicks are disgusting, dude.
They look so
I don't care how much you
photos.
love dicks. They are disgusting looking fucking things. It's like moldy yogurt falling down the stairs.
What? No. I just ate yogurt and that is so gross.
Oh, dude, I had a smoothie just before. I want to change the subject, talk about smoothies. I've been like desperately wanting to get a fucking blender because mine sucks.
I have one at home you can have.
Oh, well, let me finish my story before you interrupt me. My parents just fucked off recently. They're retired, so every once in a while they'll just fuck off and go somewhere. So they're somewhere in New South Wales, I don't know. But then once the lockdown came into effect, my mum called me. She's like, we've got a fuck ton of food and shit in the house, and I don't know when we're going to be coming home if this lockdown goes past 3 days. So why don't you go up to our house and just like steal all the food? I was like, okay, fucking why not? So I just went and stole the food, and then I found they had like a Ninja, like a NutriBullet, whatever it's called, blender thing. And I was like, oh, this is fucking cool. Like, can I, like, do my parents use this? And I sent my mom a message. I'm like, do you fucking use this at all? She's like, nah, you can have it. I'm like, sweet. I got like a $400 fucking blender for nothing. Because my mom's silly. I can say that because she won't fucking listen to this. I'm just going to use this podcast as a way to shit all over my parents. I just did a video. I was just editing it before where I talked on shit about my dad, saying that he wasn't cool.
I heard that one.
It doesn't matter. Nah, my parents are very, very uncool. They're both like quintessential boomers, like
that's funny,
through and through, to the point like absolutely everything about them is boomer as fuck, that it's kind of embarrassing.
Yeah, I mean, that's good though. Sometimes it's nice to have parents that aren't cool, because then you can just like escape from everything.
It can be nice to like to get away from, you know, leftist politics and progressive nature and stuff, which I'm fully in support of. Just sometimes it can get very overwhelming. You're like, I just need to get away from this and go hang out with my parents, because they're not going to be talking about it all the time. But then there'll be occasional things where they'll say something very racist or very sexist or very homophobic, and I'll be like, fuck, we were having a good conversation. Why did you have to ruin it?
My favorite thing is when like older people are like, oh, I'm not against gays, but they just have to do it in their own privacy.
Oh my God.
I hate it, but I also just like love listening to how stupid they sound, because they think they're in so much support of it, but they're just not. It just makes me laugh. Like, bless their souls. But they were born in, like, what people forget is that they were born in a completely different time. And as you get older, it's harder to process things. So
absolutely.
You've got to give them the space that, you know, and like the respect that, you know, they just don't quite understand it, and it is harder for them because they are getting older, and it is getting harder to process things and understand things like that. Even now, like, I listen to my siblings talk sometimes, and I'm like, what the fuck are you on about, you dumbass? Like, and it's because I'm older than them, and I just don't understand their age. Like, you know what I mean? Well, so I guess you just have to give them the thing, like, at least they're trying.
It can. I think it's very difficult, particularly for like boomers, older generations and stuff, to kind of keep up with like progressive things, because if you think about it, they've spent 50 years of their life, 50 plus years, whatever the age they are, in this mindset, and then you go, oh no, you need to change it immediately, and it can be quite a shock for people to try and
it's overwhelming. It's because they are coming to that, like, not like, it depends on how old you are, but you know, when they're kind of settling down and they're retiring and they're not spending as much time on social media, and a lot of people, like older people, you know, they tend to spend more time reading and doing housework and doing smaller things inside their homes. They're not out and about and listening to all the news and stuff. Like, they listen to the 6 o'clock news every now and then. And that doesn't show everything. No. That shows a lot of the right-wing stuff on the news, and it doesn't show a lot of the leftist stuff. You know, they don't show things like Black Lives Matter movements and things like that. They briefly talk about it, but they put it in a very negative light. So that's what the older people see, and that's what they think is okay.
Yeah, and I had that conversation with my dad recently. I think it was when I went up for Christmas, because my parents very much like religiously watch like the 7 o'clock news or whatever the fuck it is every single night. And I hate mainstream news. I hate it so much, with so much resentment. And I said to them, you know, this is bullshit. You know, this is. It's very politically driven. It's very much chosen. They're blocked from doing certain stories. They're forced to do other ones. My dad's like, it's the news. They report the news. Like, that's what they do. And I'm like, no, they fucking don't. Like, they report some of the news. And it's such a difficult thing. But, you know, I always wonder, like, talking about progressive, like, beliefs and shit, and the older generation struggling to keep up, and wondering where we're going to be in 30 years. Like, what's the thing we're going to be, you know, the outdated dinosaurs, like, not keeping up with? I don't know. Is it, maybe it's like fucking rights for androids, you know? Cyborgs, you know, do cyborgs have the right to vote? We say no, because they're not human, but then the younger generations will go, they're just as human as you and I, and I don't fucking know. Maybe it's the right to fuck your dog. I don't know. That's
the thing. It's probably like, that's the thing. That's what the older generation sees, is that's so darn outright crazy. Like, why would you even consider that? You know what I mean? That's what they think, and that's what we think about fucking dogs. Like, why the fuck would you? You know what I mean? That's what they think of the LGBTQ community, for instance. Like, they don't quite understand it, and therefore they're like, okay, I don't want, like, I'm not supporting it because I just don't understand it. And that would be like, if I was like to hear one of my friends was fucking their dog and was in a relationship, I'd be like, what the fuck?
It's interesting because I said that as a joke, but I could honestly see that becoming a progressive issue in the next like 20 to 30 years, is sexual freedom.
It's so sad.
A sexual freedom across across everything. I want to fuck this apple pie. I want to fuck this donkey.
That's the thing,
I'm
though.
gonna
People
do it.
People
do that
fuck their
already,
cars.
but like,
if it's not looked on as like, let's make a whole movement about it.
Completely taboo. Like, if you're like chatting to a dude on Tinder or something, and he's openly just talking about the fact that he fucks his dog, like you would unmatch straight away. You wouldn't be like, ooh, wow, Trevor's a bit adventurous. Let's see where this goes. And I don't know if that'll ever be acceptable in the grand scheme. This is a completely hypothetical thing, by the way.
Yeah, I hope it's not. I don't want
to start a movement of allowing people to fuck their dogs. Please don't do that. There is no consent involved in that, and that is not okay.
Yeah.
Please don't fuck dogs or any other animals. Please.
The Not Greg, Don't Make Me Greg podcast is not in support of fucking animals at all whatsoever.
Not, please.
Please do not.
And I will die on that hill. I don't care if I become, old man shouting at cloud, when I'm 60 years old telling people they can't fuck their cats. It's like, I don't care if that's the hill I die on. I'm dying on that hill. I do not equate that. That is not equivalent to, women's rights or LGBTQ. It's not the same fucking thing. Please don't go there, humanity.
Please don't. Just don't. That's all.
There's plenty of things to fuck in this world. There's men, there's women, there's everything in between.
There is pawpaws, there is rock melons, there is watermelons.
Big rubber vaginas at sex stores.
You can literally get a whole fake rubber human body if you wanted to. Just don't
you can get touch
an animal like that.
Yeah.
Just don't.
Just don't do it.
Just don't.
That is the official stance of Don't Make Me Greg. Do not fuck animals, please. It's not okay. And I don't like that's where this podcast has gone. We've been talking for an hour and we got to the point of fucking animals.
I didn't think we would ever hit this kind of topic podcast, but here we are.
I mean, I've done 7 episodes already. It was only a matter of time before we started talking about fucking dogs on this podcast, I think. This is awful. With me, though. This is awful. This is going to get me cancelled.
It's not, because we're not supporting it. We're just saying. It's... Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know how I got to this, and I don't know how to get out of this conversation. But the point is, eventually that's going to happen to us as a generation, is we're going to be the grumpy old fucks not keeping up. And it was a completely hypothetical thing. It might be human rights for, robots or androids or something. I don't know. I don't know what it's going to be. But eventually there's going to be some kind of political issue that we're on the wrong side of history of. It's going to happen.
Do you know what? This actually makes me think, what is your favorite conspiracy theory? Like, mine is the fact that there is lizard people. It's like, what's his name? Mark Zuckerberg. Like,
he's 100% a lizard. Have you seen him? He is lizard as fuck.
I looked at myself in the mirror the other day and I was like, I look like a lizard person. What?
No.
Like I do. Like certain angles, I just look a bit like I look like a gecko.
No.
I see myself.
Don't talk down to yourself like that. Not saying it's a bad thing. Geckos are fucking cute as shit.
Yeah. What are you saying?
I love geckos, man.
I don't know. That's one of my favorite conspiracies, though. It's like, I don't know why.
I'll tell you mine in a second. One of my favorite things about us as Australians, particularly in our hometown, is like geckos. Because we just let them just roam around through our house and shit. We'll just have lizards crawling on the walls and shit.
One jumped on me today.
Yeah, and I used to live with a lot of backpackers. They would come through. And we had this house with housemates and shit, and we had this one room that would rotate through backpackers, which was really cool. We got to meet a lot of interesting people, but they would always be so confused because we just have these lizards running through the house and shit, and they'd be like, why is there a lizard in the house? We're like, it's just a gecko, it's fine. And they're like, no, but why is there a lizard in the house? It's just a fucking gecko, dude. Chill the fuck out.
Chill out,
and then people would get really petrified because you'd have geckos crawling on the roof, or you'd find one in your room.
But they're so good.
To Aussies, if I find a gecko in my room, I'm like, hey buddy, what you doing?
Yeah, same. I name them. I always loved them.
You do you, man.
But they eat spiders and stuff, which is so good because I hate spiders.
They're fucking bug killers, man. That's why I just let them. But I love that about us as people, that we just have these lizards roaming around our house. I say lizards. They're small. They're very tiny.
They're really small. Or they can be big, but they're actually quite small. But it's just funny because they're completely wild and they're not pets or anything.
But
we just let them in our house. But like that's the thing. If we had a spider in our house, we'd get rid of it. We'd be like, get back outside, or we'd kill it. Like
any other animal, man. A fly, a fucking spider, a tortoise,
snake.
an echidna, a snake, a donkey,
koala, possums.
Yeah, like, any of that shit. I'm like, get the fuck out of my house. A gecko, come in. Come on in, guys. Let's fucking hang out.
That's the thing. Like, it's so funny because like. And then we name them and stuff, and we're like, "Oh, you're so cute," and then it's like this random fucking wildlife in our house.
Oh man, I love that. But my favorite conspiracy theory is that Australia doesn't exist.
Oh, that is the coolest one.
That is my favorite because have you ever seen the arguments like for saying that Australia doesn't exist?
Yeah.
Because it's always the most stupid shit. They're always like, Australia doesn't exist, and you're like, okay. What's your evidence? They're like, it doesn't exist. Like, okay, the British decided to throw all the convicts overboard in a mass killing and then used Australia as like a cover, but it's actually New Zealand. It's like, what fucking proof do you have? Like, when you go to Australia, you're drugged and you're actually in New Zealand, but they convince you that you're in Australia. It's like, to what fucking purpose, you dipshit?
Like New Zealanders have completely different accents as well. Yeah,
it's the wildest, most hilarious fucking conspiracy theory that I've ever heard of.
Yeah, it's so funny.
It's just so stupid. Like, why would England lie for over 100 years to cover up a mass murder when they have never lied about any of the other fucking mass murders they did? They fucking conquered many countries and massacred millions of people. But a few 100,000 fucking convicts will cover that up. Come on, it's bullshit.
I love it so much.
That's my absolute favorite. Because you can't convince them. You cannot convince someone who doesn't believe Australia is real that it is. There's no possible way.
I love playing on it though. Like, I love pretending that I'm not Australian and be like, oh yeah, I'm just a New Zealander pretending to be Australian. Like, they hired me. Like, the government, like... like the UK government hired me for this.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna start doing that actually.
Like, I tell them, I'm being paid really big money for this. Like, it's really good stuff. You should get into it.
You should get on board. I'll swing you my agent's details, man. It's good money being Australian. It's really fucking not good money being Australian. For the record, though, those out there listening, Australia is a real place.
We are taking it.
Both Mads and I are currently in Australia, funnily enough.
And guess what? I'm currently not on drugs, and it's a real place.
I was going to say I am on drugs, but I'm not. I'm being a good boy today.
Oh my gosh. Good job.
We said we were going to, but then you couldn't for certain reasons. So
yeah.
I'll get you on again eventually one day.
Yeah, when we're not locked
you'd
down.
like.
Oh yeah, maybe we'll see what happens.
Maybe we'll see.
I'll just play it cool.
Oh, okay. It's fucking playing it cool over here. Like, yeah, maybe I'll come back on, maybe I won't. Fucking. Maybe you get lucky and I'll come back on for a bit. Maybe fucking whatever.
You know, it's whatever. I don't mind.
Big timing me over here. Don't big time me. But anyways, you've been doing some stuff with your mum recently. Started a plant thing?
Yes. So basically, my mum came up with this idea, and she's really big into gardening, and she's so good at it. She loves gardening. It's my favorite. Because during lockdown, I really got into plants and started like my own garden on my veranda. I had a huge, massive amount of plants. It was ridiculous. And when I moved in with my mum, still moving in, she started making like succulent arrangements. Like, she ordered a bunch of cuttings off succulents and they all came in the mail, and she was really excited, and she started putting them together and they just looked so beautiful, and she started selling them. And then we started going to markets and like made our own names. So basically we have a small business now. It's Coco Boho. It's really cool stuff.
Coco Boho. Link will be in the description on the YouTube video for you to check it out. Yeah. If you're on Spotify, go fuck yourself.
We do a lot of stuff. Like we do water plants as well. So we basically grow plants in water, and they just look really sick on like your bathroom windowsill. And I don't know, I just love it. And all of it, like the amount of different succulents and how they grow in different types of areas is so cool. It's so fascinating. But we do a lot of stuff at markets. We do online orders. It depends on where you are though. So if you're in America, you can go fuck yourself too, because we can't send you plants. Or if you're in a different state, probably not either. It depends, because some succulents are banned in different states as well.
So it'd be a good idea to hit them up and see if you guys, like, if you do end up doing international or interstate postage and such.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's good to just support a small business, support them on Facebook however you can. Give them a like, comment, share it around. You never know. Some of your friends might be really interested in succulents and want to grab some succulents and just need to be pointed in the right direction.
And do you know what's funny? It's the easiest thing to look after, succulents. Yeah. You can kill them. You kill them with love. You can't kill them with no love. Like, you have to not care about them.
That's literally me to a T. If you give me love, I'm gonna die. But if you just leave me alone, literally. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
all
quite
right.
Literally. Yeah, they're cool for desks and presents though, which is nice. I have one on my desk at work and everyone's jealous. So it's nice.
My desk here is pretty bare, so I'm gonna need to get one, I think.
I'll have to hook you up with some.
A bit. Hook us
Mates
up.
rates.
Oh, fuck yeah. All right, Mads, this was fun, dude. Thank you so much for coming on.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's great.
You're not big timing me anymore now.
Oh,
now you're being modest. I don't know how to keep up, dude. This is a whirlwind of emotions.
This whole podcast has been, hasn't it?
All right, bye everyone.
All right, bye.
Bye.